Good morning, everyone. How are you? I'm fine, thank you. And Lulu is fine as well, aren't you? Yeah, she's very happy to be here, aren't you? Nice Sunday morning. And I've got a great story for you today, and it's called The Jealous Brothers. So Lulu, I'm going to sit you down a minute. Is that okay? Yeah, I'm going to sit you here and you can listen to the story from us. Well, from me, not from us, because it's just me. I have got a story called The Jealous Brothers. Now, have you ever felt jealous? We all feel jealous sometimes. It could be that our brother or our sister or our friend has a toy that we really want to play with, or maybe they've got an outfit that we love and we wish it was ours, or maybe we think they have nicer hair or something like that. We all get jealous sometimes, and that's what this story is about. It is called The Jealous Brothers, and it is from my Bible, the Lion First Bible, and it is about a boy called Joseph. Now, here's Joseph. Here he is, and these are all his brothers. Wow, what a lot of brothers he had. I wonder how anyone would remember all their names. But Joseph had a brand new coat, and his dad had given it to him. It had zigs and zags and stripes. It was red and blue and yellow. It was all different colours, like my blanket behind me. It was a really special coat. Not one for every day, but Joseph wore it all the time. I mean, have you got your favourite piece of clothing that you wear all the time? I've certainly had clothes that I wear a lot. Look at me, Joseph said to his brothers. Look at me in my new coat. Dad's always giving you things. He loves you more than us. It's not fair, his brothers shouted. Joseph had 10 big brothers and 1 little brother, but none of them, not even little Ben, had a new coat like this. Their father Jacob did love Joseph the best, and it wasn't fair. And the brothers were jealous. There you go. Look how cross they all look. Can you see their faces? They look proper annoyed about it. Which, to be honest, I think most children would be annoyed. 4 of Joseph's brothers went out to mind their sheep, and when they got up to a bit of mischief, Joseph told their dad. "Oh, you nasty little telltale," his brothers yelled. And then Joseph began to tell them about his dreams. "We were cutting the corn and tying it in bundles," Joseph said, "and your bundles all bowed down to mine. And then I had another dream, and the sun and the moon and the 11 stars all bowed down to me." "Who do you think you are?" his brothers shrieked. They really were angry with Joseph now. Look, there they are. They're really annoyed with him because he's telling tales on them to their dad, and then he's telling them dreams where he's the top person. One day when his brothers were away minding the sheep, Jacob said to Joseph, "Go and make sure everything's all right." So Joseph set off to find them. He was wearing his very special coat. They saw him coming from a long way away in the distance. How well they knew that coat, with its zigs and zags and stripes and red and blue and yellow. "Here comes the dream boy," they said. "Now's our chance to get rid of him. We could tell Dad that a fierce wild animal has killed him." They were so spiteful they wanted to really get rid of him. But Reuben tried to save him. He said, no, don't hurt him. Let's just throw him down this well instead. There's no need to hurt him. There they are. Look, they're looking in the distance. There's Joseph coming running. And here are the brothers. They're planning. And this here is the well that they want to throw him down. It's not very nice. So they tore off Joseph's coat and they threw him down the well. "Oh, let me out, please let me out," Joseph begged. But they pretended not to hear. Then some men came riding by. Their camels were loaded with precious things to sell in faraway Egypt. "Let them have Joseph," Joseph said. "They can sell him too." So Joseph was taken to faraway Egypt. The brothers made Joseph's special coat all dirty and messy, and then they went home. A fierce wild animal must have killed him, Jacob said when he saw the coat. He cried and cried, and he thought he would never see Joseph again. But God had a really special plan for Joseph. There he is. There's Joseph. They've taken his coat off him. There's the two mean brothers. And there is the man from Egypt who's going to take him away. And look, there's his dad crying over his coat. He's thinking, oh, he's been killed by a wild animal. Now, Joseph was in faraway Egypt. He was in prison. He was all alone and very unhappy. But God knew all about it. God loved Joseph and he had a really special plan for him. Joseph shouldn't have been in prison. He hadn't done anything wrong. It was all a mistake. The prison governor liked Joseph and he put him in charge of all the other prisoners. That was part of God's plan. Look, there's Joseph in prison, looking out the window, wishing he was out there, wishing he was home with his dad. But it was all part of God's plan. One day, the king of Egypt was so cross with the man who brought him his wine that he sent him to prison. The man was very unhappy and he had a dream that upset him. Tell me about your dream, said Joseph. God will help us to understand it. I had the king's cup in my hand, the man said. I squeezed some grapes into the cup and I gave it to the king. That is a good dream, Joseph said. It means you'll be back in the palace very soon when you get out of prison. Please tell the king about me. I promise I will, said the man. So there's Joseph and he said, tell me the dream. And here he is telling him all about it. And Joseph said, that dream's fine. It's a good dream. It means you're going to be okay. 3 days later, he was out of prison, but he forgot his promise to Joseph. And then the king had a dream that upset him. I know someone who can help, said the man who brought him his wine. So the king of Egypt sent for Joseph. In my dream, said the king, I saw 7 fat cows by the river. And then 7 thin cows came out and ate them up. Nom, 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 nom. The king told Joseph, and God helped Joseph to understand the king's dream. And he said, for 7 good years there would be plenty of good food, Joseph said. Then for 7 bad years nothing will grow. You must store up food so that no one is hungry when the bad years come. There you go, there's a picture. There is the king telling Joseph his dream. Look, there's the cupbearer and there are the cows. So Joseph was able to interpret dreams, which helped. And the king liked Joseph so much, he said to him, I will put you in charge just to make sure. And then he took his ring off his finger and he put it on Joseph's finger. That means he really thought a lot of him. He hung a great gold chain around Joseph's neck and he gave him a chariot to ride in. Joseph was the most important man in Egypt after the king. That was part of God's plan too. Here you go. There is Joseph. Look at him. He looks very important. The bad years came. In Egypt, food was stored up ready and no one was hungry. But Joseph's family back home had nothing left to eat. You must go to Egypt to buy food, Joseph said to his brothers. It was a long, long journey, but they all had to go. Only Ben, the youngest, stayed at home. And here is Joseph. There he is, sharing food out. And I think there's 2 of his brothers. Now, Joseph recognised them, but they did not recognise Joseph. Next time, Ben has to come too, the brothers told Jacob when they got back. The man in charge, Joseph, said so. They didn't know that it was Joseph. They often thought about Joseph and they really wished they hadn't been so cruel. Their father did not want young Ben to go because he'd already lost Joseph. But in the end he had to. They were all so hungry. He had to let Ben go with them. He was just scared he'd never see him again. So there's the brothers, there's the dad and Ben, And look, they're all going, wow. When Joseph saw Ben, he burst into tears. "It's me, Joseph," he said. "Uh-oh, we're in trouble now," his brothers said to themselves. "Joseph will pay us back for being so unkind to him." But instead, guess what? Joseph hugged and kissed them. "God has taken care of me all this time," he said. "Now I will take care of you." So the whole family, look, all of them, even his dad, came to Egypt. Isn't that such an amazing story? And you know what? Those brothers, they were jealous and they were very, very, very bad to Joseph. They were really naughty. And you know what? They had to live with that guilt and that feeling of shame all that time. And that was really bad that they did such a terrible thing. But God was still in control. Even in their meanness and their badness and how uncaring they were, God was in control. And God really loved them, even though they were naughty. And you know what? Sometimes we're so naughty and we're so bad, but God still loves us so much, and he still wants to take care of us and look after us. And that's what God did in this situation. He looked after the whole family because he absolutely loved them. Isn't that an amazing story? You know, sometimes things seem out of our control. Things seem really, really, really hard and really, really difficult. But when things are at their worst, that is the time when we need to trust God the most. Imagine that, having no food and feeling so starving hungry, but God looked after them. And you know what? If you are feeling like life is really tough and life is really, really hard, then you can pray to God and just say, "God, I trust you in this really hard, tough time that I'm having," whatever that tough time is. It could be friendships, it could be in your family, it could just be that you're sick of lockdown. You know what? God's in control and he is looking after us. So I'm going to pray now, but I'm going to bring Lulu back. Now, while I was telling that story, you may have heard a bit of snoring, and that is because down here is my other dog, Aveen, and she was being a bit snory. There she is. So just in case you were wondering what that noise was, it was her. It was not Lulu. It wasn't you, was it? No. And Lulu was telling me that sometimes she gets a bit jealous of Aveen, don't you? Because you said she runs really, really fast. Yeah. But Lulu, look at your beautiful long hair. Aveen doesn't have hair like that, does she? And I think Aveen gets a bit jealous of your hair. So we all have things that we wish we didn't or did have, or we look at other people and wish that we were like them, don't we? We do. So I'm going to pray. And I'm going to ask God to help us to always remember that he is in control no matter what. Right, Lulu, you going to bow your head? You going to bow your heads, guys? I'm going to pray. And Father God, I just want to pray for everybody this morning, no matter what we are going through, no matter how big our feelings are sometimes, those feelings of jealousy and anger and even maybe hate. God, you still love us. Even if we're really naughty, we do bad things, you still love us. You still care for us and you still want the best for us. Help us to remember that no matter what, you are in control. And Lord, I just pray that we can come to you with all our emotions and our feelings and give them to you. And we ask this in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you, Lulu. That was great. You're a great dog, aren't you? You are. All right, guys, have a great rest of the morning and I will see you soon. Bye.
Hey guys, here we are again, having a laugh with Jerry and Mark. Another joke, another week. And this week, Jerry and I decided we're going to do some fruit jokes because really Cheryl's jokes, they weren't funny. Cheryl, you got to do better than that. Mango jokes. So we thought we'd do some proper fruit jokes for you. So here's the first one. What's worse than finding a worm in your apple? Finding half a worm. And secondly, what do you get if you put an iPhone in a blender? What do you get? Any ideas? Apple juice. Come on, Jerry. You're never going to beat these apple jokes. See you next time. Hi guys, here we go again. Another week of having a laugh with Jerry and Mark. I don't know if you guys saw the service at the weekend, but there were some really great bits in it that I liked. There was Ace and Claudine giving their tips on marriage, but there was Lizzie with a poem. But what really got to me, sort of what I really sort of stood out, was Cheryl. Cheryl with her sort of take on Valentine's Day. But I don't know if you saw about fruit and her jokes with fruit. And so I thought what I'd do is I would create a poem just for Cheryl. Okay, so this is my attempt at poetry. Here we go.
We once knew a woman called Cheryl.
To us, she was very, very special.
She was great with the flute, but terrible with the fruit.
But to
Thinking she could beat us?
dreaming she'd defeat us.
Oh, Cheryl, you must be bonkers.